Good evening. It is March the 12th. I hate to say it, but it feels like this year is flying by already. It's almost the first quarter, end of the first quarter. We are going to start off with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever. Amen. So tonight we're going to be reading Numbers 16:41 through 18:32, Mark 16:1 through 20, Psalms 55 1 through 23, and Proverbs 11:7. I'm going to put my reading specs on so I can see what I'm doing. All right, let's get it done. Grumbling broke out the next day in the community of Israel, grumbling against Moses and Aaron. You have killed God's people. But it so happened that when the community got together against Moses and Aaron, they looked over at the tent of the meeting, and there was the cloud, the glory of God for all to see. Moses and Aaron stood at the front of the tent of the meeting. God spoke to Moses, "Back away from the congregation so that I can do away with them this very minute." They threw themselves face down on the ground. Moses said to Aaron, "Take your censer and fill it with incense, along with fire from the altar. Get to the congregation as fast as you can and make atonement for them. Anger is pouring out from God. The plague has started." Aaron grabbed the censer, as directed by Moses, and ran into the midst of the congregation. The plague had already begun. He put burning incense into the censer and atoned for the people. He stood there between the living and the dead and stopped the plague. 14,700 people died from the plague. Good Lord. Not counting those who died in the affair of Korah. Aaron then went back to join Moses at the entrance of the tent of the meeting. The plague was stopped. God spoke to Moses, "Speak to the people of Israel, get staffs from them, 12 staffs in all, one from the leader of each of their ancestral tribes. Write each man's name on his staff. Start with Aaron, write Aaron's name on the staff of Levi, and then proceed with the rest. A staff for the leader of each ancestral tribe. Now lay them out in the tent of the meeting in front of the testimony where I keep appointments with you. What will happen next is this: the staff of the man I choose will sprout. I'm going to put a stop to the endless grumbling by the people of Israel against you." Moses spoke to the people of Israel. Their leaders handed over 12 staffs, one for the leader of each tribe, and Aaron's staff was one of them. Moses laid out the staffs before God in the tent of the testimony. Moses walked into the tent of testimony the next day and saw that Aaron's staff, the staff of the tribe of Levi, had in fact sprouted buds, blossoms, and even ripe almonds. Moses brought out all the staffs from God's presence and presented them to the people of Israel. They took a good look. Each leader took the staff with his name on it. God said to Moses, "Return Aaron's staff to the front of the testimony. Keep it there as a sign to rebels. This will put a stop to the grumbling against me and save their lives." Moses did just as God commanded him. The people of Israel said to Moses, "We're as good as dead. This is our death sentence. Anyone who gets close to the dwelling of God is good as dead. Are we all doomed?" God said to Aaron, "You and your sons, along with your father's family, are responsible for taking care of the sins having to do with the sanctuary. You and your sons are also responsible for sins involving the priesthood. So enlist your brothers of the tribe of Levi to join you and assist you and your sons in the duties of the tent of testimony. They will report to you as they go out about their duties related to the tent, but they must not have anything to do with that holy things of the altar under penalty of death. Both they and you will die. They are to work with you in taking care of the tent of meeting. Whatever work is involved in the tent, outsiders are not allowed to help you. Your job is to take care of the sanctuary and the altar so that there will be no more outbreaks of anger on the people of Israel. I personally have picked your brothers, the Levites from Israel as a whole. I'm giving them to you as a gift of God, to help with the work of the tent of the meeting. But only you and your sons may serve as priests, working around the altar and inside the curtain. The work of the priesthood is my exclusive gift to you. It cannot be delegated. Anyone else who invades the sanctuary will be executed." God spoke to Aaron, "I am personally putting you in charge of my contributions, all the holy gifts I get from the people of Israel. I'm turning them over to you and your children for your personal use. This is the standing rule. You and your sons get what's left from the offerings, whatever hasn't been totally burned up on the altar. The leftovers from the grain offerings, absolute offerings, and compensation offerings. Eat it reverently in the most holy. In the most holy, every male may eat it. Treat it as holy. You also get the wave offerings from the people of Israel. I present them to you and your sons and daughters as gift. This is a standing rule. Anyone in your household who is ritually clean may eat it. I also give you all the best olive oil, the best new wine, and the grain that is offered to God, as the fresh fruits of the harvest. All the fresh fruits they offer to God are yours. Anyone in your household who is ritually clean may eat it. You get every, you get every totally devoted gift. Every firstborn that is offered to God, whether animal or person, is yours, except you don't get the firstborn itself, but its redemption price. Firstborn humans and ritually unclean animals are brought back, and you get the redemption price. When the firstborn is a month old, it must be redeemed at the redemption price. And 5 shekels of silver, using the standard of the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs. On the other hand, you don't redeem a firstborn oxen, sheep, or a goat. They are holy. Instead, splash their blood on the altar and burn their fat as a fire gift, pleasing fragrance to God. But you get the meat, just as you get the breast from the wave offering and the right thigh. All the holy offerings from the people of Israel set aside for God. Excuse me. I'm turning over to you and your children. That's the standard rule. It includes both you and your children, a covenant of salt, external and unchangeable before God. God said to Aaron, you won't get any inheritance in the land, not so much as a small plot of ground. I am your plot of ground. I am your inheritance among the people of Israel. I'm giving the Levites all the tithes of Israel as they pay for their work they do in the tent of the meeting. Starting now, the rest of the people of Israel cannot wander in and out of the tent of the meeting. They'll be penalized for their sin, and the penalty is death. It's the Levites and only the Levites who are to work in the tent of the meeting. They are responsible for anything that goes wrong. This is the regular rule for all time. They get no inheritance among the people of Israel. Instead, I turn over to them the tithes that the people of Israel present as an offering to God. That's why I give the ruling. They are to receive no land inheritance among the people of Israel. God spoke to Moses, speak to the Levites. Tell them, when you get the tithe from the people of Israel, the inheritance that I have assigned to you, you must tithe that tithe and present it as an offering to God. Your offerings will be treated the same as other people's gifts of grain from the threshing floor or wine from the wine vat. This is your procedure for making offerings to God from all the tithes you get from the people of Israel. Give God portion from these tithes to Aaron the priest. Make sure that God's portion is the best and holiest of everything you get. Tell the Levites, when you offer the best part, the rest will be treated the same as grain from the threshing floor or wine from the wine vat that others give. You and your household are free to eat the rest of it any time and any place. It's your wages for your work at the tent of the meeting. By offering the best part, you avoid guilt. You won't desecrate the holy offerings of the people of Israel. You won't die. All right, hang on a minute. The rest of the treated for the same. Aggression, the whole offering, vine vat. You and your household free to eat the rest. What did I just read there? The tithes. This is your procedure for making the fairings for all the tithes that you get from the people of Israel. Give God's portion. Got to underline this, guys. It's good. Gives God's portion from the tithes of Aaron to the priest. Make sure that God's portion is the best. Make sure God's portion is the best and holiest of everything you get. I think that's crucial because I personally will attest that I was not tithing like I should for a long time. And since I've been tithing like I'm supposed to, things have just been kind of falling into place. It's kind of like you have to believe it, you have to see it to believe it. I can't even explain it to you. Numbers 16:14 through 18:32, the breakdown says, after God judged the rebellion of Korah, the people still blamed Moses and Aaron, and the plague broke out. Aaron ran into the middle of the people with incense and stood between the living and the dead, stopping the plague. God then confirmed Aaron's leadership when Aaron's staff miraculously budded, proving that God, not public opinion, chooses spiritual authority. The core lesson says God takes rebellion seriously. but he also provides intercession and order through his chosen leaders. The practice takeaway: don't fight God's structure. When chaos hits, someone must stand in the gap for others. Wow. Mark 16, 1 through 20. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome brought spices so they could embalm him. So Jesus had just passed away um, yesterday when we read this. Very early on Sunday morning, as the sun rose, they went to the tomb. They worried out loud to each other, "Whom will rock? Whom will whom will roll back the stone from the tomb for us?" Then they looked up and saw that it had been rolled back. It was a huge stone, and they walked right in. They saw a young man sitting on the right side, dressed all in white. They were completely taken aback, astonished. He said, "Don't be afraid. I know you're looking for Jesus the Nazarene, the one they nailed to the cross. He's been raised up. He's no longer here. You can see for yourselves that the place is empty. Now, on your way, tell his disciples and Peter that he is going on ahead of you to Galilee. You'll see him there exactly as he said." That makes me want to cry, y'all. That's amazing. They got out as fast as they could, beside themselves, their heads swimming. Stunned, they said nothing to anyone. After rising from the dead, Jesus appeared early on Sunday morning to Mary Magdalene, whom he had delivered from 7 demons. She went to his former companions, now weeping and carrying on, and told them. When they heard her report that she had seen him alive and well, they didn't believe her. Later he appeared, but in a different form. The two of them were out walking in the countryside. They went back and told the rest, but they weren't believed either. Still later, as the 11 were eating supper, he appeared and took them to task most severely for their stubborn unbelief. That didn't sound right. Let's read that again. Still later, as the 11 were eating supper, he appeared and took them to task most severely for their stubborn unbelief. Still didn't sound right. Refusing to believe those who had seen him raised up, then he said, "Go into the world, go everywhere and announce the message of God, good news to one and all. Whoever believes and is baptized is saved. Whoever refuses to believe is damned." These are some of the signs that will accompany believers. They will throw out demons in my name. They will speak in new tongues. They will take snakes in their hands. They will drink poison and not be hurt. They will lay hands on the sick and make them well. Then the Master Jesus, after briefing them, was taken up to heaven, and he sat down beside God in the place of honor. And the disciples went everywhere preaching, the Master working right with them, validating the message with indisputable evidence. Okay. So Mark 16, 1 through 20 says, after the crucifixion, women visit the tomb of Jesus and discover it empty. Angels announce that he had risen. Jesus appears to several followers, correcting their unbelief and then giving the Great Commission. Go into all the world and preach the gospel. He promises that signs will accompany believers and then ascends into heaven while the disciples go out boldly preaching. The core lesson says the resurrection is the foundation of Christianity, and believers are called to spread the message. The takeaway: faith isn't passive. Resurrection power leads to action and mission. Psalms 55, 1 through 23. Open your ears, God, to my prayers. Don't pretend you don't hear me knocking. Come close and whisper your answer. I really need you. I shudder at the mean voice. Quail before the evil eye as they pile on the guilt. Stockpile angry slander. My insides are turned inside out. Specters of death have me down. I shake with fear. I shudder from head to foot. Who will give me wings? I ask. Wings like a dove. Get me out of here on dove wings. I want some peace and quiet. I want to walk in the country. I want a cabin in the woods. I'm desperate for change from rage and stormy weather. Come down hard, Lord. Slit their tongues. I'm appalled how they split the city into rival gangs, prowling the alleys day and night, spoiling for a fight. Trash piled in the streets, even shopkeepers gouging and cheating in broad daylight. This isn't the neighborhood bully mocking me. I could take that. This isn't a foreign devil spitting incentive. I could tune that out. It's you. We grew up together. You, my best friend. Those long hours of leisure as well as we walked, arm in arm, God a third party to our conversation. Haul my betrayers off alive to hell. Let them experience the horror. Let them feel every desolate detail of a damned life. I call to God, God will help me. At dusk, dawn, and noon I sigh, deep sighs. He hears, he rescues. My life is well and whole, secure in the middle of danger. Even while thousands are lined up against me, God hears it all, and from his judge's bench puts them in their place. But see it their ways, they won't change. They pay him no mind, and this, my friend, betrayed his best friends. His life betrayed his word. All my life I've been charmed by his speech, never dreamed he'd turn on me. His words, which were music to my ears, turned to daggers in my heart. Pile your troubles on God's shoulders. He'll carry your load, he'll help you out. He'll never let good people topple in ruin, but you, God, will throw the others into a muddy bog. Cut the lifespan of assassins and traitors in half. Breakdown of Psalms 55, 1 through 23 says, David cries out to God in deep distress, not from an enemy, but from a close friend who betrayed him. The pain of betrayal cuts deep than open opposition. Isn't that the truth? Excuse me. Yet David chooses to trust God. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. And he will sustain you. What's that? Cast all your cares on him, for he cares for you. The core lesson: God can carry the weight of betrayal, stress, and anxiety. That right there, we could talk about that for a while. God can carry the weight of betrayal, stress, and anxiety. I think we've all been through that, or probably going through that at some moment. The takeaway says, instead of carrying the burden yourself, hand it to God daily. It's no different than surrendering to God daily and actually giving it to him. When you surrender to God the first thing in the morning when you get up, it's game change. Proverbs 11:7. When the wicked die, that's it. The story's over. End of hope. Breakdown of Proverbs 11:7 says, when a wicked person dies, their hope dies with them. Wealth, power, and influence cannot save a corrupt life. The core lesson: hope that is built in selfish gain on wickedness ends in emptiness. The practical takeaway: build your life on righteousness and faith, not temporary success. The theme for all four passages is God honors true faith and obedience, exposes rebellion and wickedness, and invites us to trust him with our burdens while living out our mission. If no one told you today, I love you. Hope you'll have a better than good evening. We will see you tomorrow. It'll be March 13th. I love you. I love you. I love you. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.